Hello everyone, welcome to my cozy kitchen corner. So I'm so excited tonight because with Mother's Day coming up, we have some of our favorite Mother's Day brunch recipes. So do you feel like the brunch is the big focus on Mother's Day, or more like?
I think it is. I think the girls in general enjoy the brunch.
With the champagne
with
mimosas.
the champagne.
We should have thought of that.
We should have. Yeah, but that can easily be added.
Of course, so add those in. But so we have a few of our favorite recipes, and they're super quick, super easy, and they're really elegant too. So I know my mom appreciates elegant things.
Well, and just looking around at the ingredients, we have there. It's very elegant recipes, but it's also very nutritionally balanced.
It is. All of these recipes are actually paleo friendly if you're on the Atkins diet or going gluten free. So, but you don't have to be. They're just really good either way. So we're going to feature 3 super quick recipes. So the first one we are going to do is the asparagus, radish, and bacon frittata. So this is an all-egg dish, kind of like a quiche, but no crust. So the first thing we're going to do with that is we are going to whisk eggs. We're going to do 4 eggs.
Okay,
now
I can start those.
The recipe that I'm showing, we are actually having it. So if you have a bigger crowd and just want to double this. And it is going to be made in 2 quick steps. And it is actually going to be baked for the second step. So I'm going to go ahead and preheat our little deluxe air fryer toaster oven.
Okay, and then I'll get these eggs in here. Do we do any additions to this before we whisk them, or can we whisk these first?
We are adding a few things,
okay.
Yes. So I'm going to do 375 convection bake.
And did you say we were trying the dual function on that that new piece tonight?
We are, and that's going to come in just a minute here.
Okay, that one is very exciting to me to try that. Okay, so we have the eggs.
4 eggs, and then we're just going to whisk into that mixture 1 tablespoon of heavy cream, and then your 1/8 teaspoon salt. Oh, you don't measure, of course.
Yeah,
here
that looks like it matches. And the cream, and that is the tablespoon for half.
It is the heavy cream.
Okay.
Fully leaded heavy cream for that.
the good stuff.
And then, got it?
Uh-huh.
And then we are going to add egg, salt, cream, and cheese. So I grated real finely. It's a 1/4 cup of Parmesan. So I just got that block at, I think, Walmart. And I grated this really fine with the microplane grater. It's always better to grate your own because it's so much fresher.
That is true.
So 1/4 cup, it's more like a 1/2 cup, but we all love cheese, right?
Cheese is, you can't mess with cheese or garlic.
And that's it. If you want to whisk that together, here's a whisk. And so this is my favorite little 4-cup batter bowl. That's what I pull out for almost every recipe.
I know, for pancakes, for just so many things.
And it comes with the lid. And so whatever you make, you can just throw the lid on and throw it in the refrigerator.
You know the holiday salad, the Italian salad that we've done before?
You make your...
That's the dressing with it, because this, when you're doing such a large batch, you can use this, or if you refill it through the night, you can just pop the lid on in between and then go back and get it.
And that's your big batch of salad
That's
dressing.
the big batch of salad dressing. Yeah.
And we did a recipe demo for that too.
Yeah.
Let us know if you'd like to see that one.
That was a fun one to do. That's a family favorite.
The favorite Italian salad.
All right.
Looking pretty good there.
I think
So what we're going to do is we're going to saute some fresh spring veggies. So if you want to pull out a little tabletop burner here, we'll go ahead and just preheat this to a medium. And let that start getting preheated just for a few minutes. And the skillet I'm using is the 8-inch nonstick skillet. This is the Lifetime skillet, And these have been redesigned. You can actually even use metal utensils in these now. But I'm going to show you a secret little feature of this when we're done. So when we're done, we're actually going to take this handle off so we can throw this.
So it can go in the oven.
Yeah.
Ah, I actually have this one. And I like to use it in my camper and my clubhouse where you don't have a lot of space.
Oh, okay.
It's like a perfect scrambled egg or hash browns kind of skillet.
I always do like to use the nonstick skillets for eggs, just because that's one thing cast iron isn't good for.
Yeah.
So you can actually use, when we're sauteing this, the favorite little silicone spatulas. These are heat safe, so you can cook with these. So while that's heating, we're going to use a couple cooking oils here. So good old bacon grease. So I did cook a little bacon earlier today, and I reserved just a little of the bacon grease. So we are going to do just like a little spoon of the bacon grease there, and you can kind of, that's starting to get preheated. And then we're also going to do a little bit of butter.
Okay, and that was a tablespoon, I believe. Well, actually it'll be half of that.
We are having this recipe, so, and add the butter to the skillet. So this will be nice and sauteed with all these delicious.
All the guys in our family would love this with the bacon drippings and butter.
So, full disclosure, I do have a funny story. This recipe was supposed to have bacon, but we're substituting a different breakfast meat. I made some bacon earlier today, but we decided to have BLTs for dinner, and I didn't fully think that through. That I needed to reserve some for my recipe for tonight, so we did a pivot. We're doing breakfast sausage for our meat.
Hey, that's the key to a good cook, being able to pivot.
Yeah, definitely don't not make a recipe if you don't have one ingredient, unless it's something critical in baking, but just substitute with something else. I mean,
turn on the creative juices.
One breakfast meat is as good as another breakfast meat is as good as another breakfast meat. You could have used prosciutto too, even. So we're gonna let this, and we can actually start to see that sizzle. So I'll hand you the stirring spatula over, and we are going to add the asparagus. So this is just a cup of asparagus, and I did them into bite-sized pieces. So my husband actually grew this. It's been growing for the last couple weeks out there in the garden. So I had to feature something with this.
This will be so. I've tried some of these too.
I can hear it sizzling
the little
there,
sizzle.
So that's a good sign.
And that is 1 minute, is that right? Or is that 5 minutes?
It does say 5 minutes,
5
but you know what? Asparagus cooks so quick. You'd be surprised. And then we have to keep in mind too that this is going to go in the oven and cook even more. So instead of the 5 minutes, because that's for the full recipe, I'm thinking like just a couple minutes here.
Just a minute or two.
And of course you can always substitute different veggies that you like. I'm thinking mushrooms would be so good in this.
Even fresh spinach.
It would.
You could just wilt a little spinach. You could do spinach and mushroom or asparagus.
So what are your favorite veggies, since this is in theory for you?
This is, you know, all three of these are right at the top of my list. I think for some reason spinach and mushroom seems to be a good combo for omelets or egg dishes.
And then cheese always seems to get in there somewhere too.
But I think that asparagus are available such a short time out of the year that you just have to take advantage when you have it.
So there's actually there's a little twist in here. So there's a veggie you don't always think of cooking with. So we are actually going to use some radishes. So I have just a few, like a half a cup of radishes. And what we're going to do is, and you know what, I almost feel like we could turn that down a little bit.
Yeah, because
this
is not like something that needs to be.
So for our radishes, I have just kind of cut off the ends. And we're actually going to use a simple slicer mandolin, and we're going to be able to get some super fine slices super quick and easy. So while you have that going, I really am glad I had you today.
Yeah. My pleasure.
So with this mandolin, there's a safety guard. Always use a safety guard with your mandolins. And there's some little prongs. You can actually, if you have something small, just push on a couple onto the prongs.
We can probably get 4 of them in there
I wonder if we can.
These asparagus look really beautiful.
So I'm going to start with 3 just to keep it safe. I'm going to do the thinnest just so it cooks fastest and they're more delicate little slices.
And this is the part when the radishes go in, that's only 1 minute more.
Right.
Okay.
So these aren't going to take long to cook at all. And what's cool is we can just do this straight over.
Yeah. Oh, look at the color already.
That makes a beautiful color. And hopefully you can see this well. They just
Yeah,
drop
I'm
out.
gonna tip it a little just to get that.
And I just wanted to show these are like super fine.
They're like
little
paper thin
slices. That's what I was gonna do.
That would be so good on you know how they do it on tacos sometime, like street tacos and stuff.
For that extra crunch
Like the
and a
fish
little bit of
tacos.
zip. So I think it's fun just to add in a little veggie that you wouldn't normally think about. Have you ever cooked with radishes before, Renee?
I can't say I have. That's why this
So-
is kind of exciting to see that, you know, just to see if the what the texture does with the minute on the
and
sizzle.
the flavors.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all we have to do. I'm actually going to turn this off
Yeah, with these
because those are
thin.
super thin.
Mhm.
Next, we're going to add in just 1 or 2 more things. So we are going to add the meat. So this is where I'm using breakfast sausage, just diced fine instead of the bacon that my family ate earlier.
I bet
And
the
then-
bacon, the BLTs were great.
And then we are going to pour the egg mixture back into the skillet.
And that's the egg and the cheese.
The egg, cheese, and
cream, a
a
little
little
salt.
bit of cream, a little bit of salt.
Was there any pepper in there?
No.
No, just the salt. Okay.
I mean, if you feel like you want to add some, you're welcome to.
I would be tempted to add just a little bit of white pepper to this.
I actually don't have white pepper. I only have the black.
But
Is
it's,
that what you would
I
do?
would say do a twist
Go
of,
ahead and add a little?
yeah,
Okay.
just with the radish, with the, I think it would just do a,
Yeah, I do
kinda
feel
amp
like
it up
that'll
a little.
help a little.
Yeah.
And just kind of stir that up a little. And this is what's cool. So this skillet is oven proof. So we are going to go ahead and take this, and if that's all stirred together, we're gonna throw this in the oven just for
I think we're
like
good here.
10-ish minutes just
Yeah.
to get it set. And we'll have to keep an eye on that too. And
Okay.
in the meantime, we'll do our other super quick pretty recipes. So let me show you what's fun here. And I will be careful because this is hot, but this handle is removable. So you just take that off. Now it's oven safe. So I am going to use
And
a hot
also
pad.
storage friendly.
Yeah, if you need to stack them,
Yeah.
it helps so much.
Like when you're talking about a camper or the RV or, you know, a small area, just that saves so much.
Just space-wise,
Mhm.
yeah. So this is actually going to go in the air fryer oven combination, which we're using as an oven today.
Can we see that going in? Right. All right. And then what else do you have in store
Ooh,
for
I have
us?
some goodies I think you're gonna like. So if you can help me too keep it on this, we have it
Okay.
set for 12 minutes.
Okay.
But I've noticed with this new deluxe air fryer oven, it cooks a lot faster
Okay.
than any other oven or even any other air fryer oven. So let's just keep an
Maybe
eye on
give it 3 and we'll just take a look.
Yeah,
and
we'll
it
give
kind of
it like
helps us
half the
learn.
time
Yeah,
even, and then start
exactly.
peeking at that.
All right.
So, if you
Can I move-
watch out, that's still hot. Are you
Okay.
good to set it down?
Mhm.
Okay.
This,
And I'm so excited about these next little. You can hardly even call this a recipe.
I
but-
know. I'm peeking over at the ingredients and I can't help but
Okay.
have my
so
mouth watering.
a brunch to be complete, you should have a main course and probably a little appetizer and then probably a little something sweet, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's move on to an appetizer. So along the theme of the asparagus that Neil has been growing in the garden, I have some more. I did like the medium-sized stalks that I set aside, and these are going to get just broiled really quick. So if you could help me just take each spear,
Okay.
and then the prosciutto, you know how it comes in like the long rectangles? I cut those
Oh,
in
the
half.
strips, okay.
I cut those in half lengthwise. So all we are going to do, and I'll share this, it's a recipe, but all we're going to do with this is wrap each trimmed asparagus with a strip of prosciutto, starting just below the tip and wrapping toward the bottom.
Okay.
So some of these are fairly uneven, but
That's all right. That's the beauty of it.
oh, this is gonna be so good, I can tell already. So I've done this kind of before, but I didn't realize that if you broil them, your prosciutto gets crispy and delicious. I didn't realize that was
It just,
key factor there.
yeah, it makes it even better. And there's something so pretty about these.
Okay, what do you think? Is that okay?
I think so. What
Yours
about
looks
this
better
guy?
than mine.
Here we go.
Okay, we can get these done pretty quick with both of
There.
us. Thank you. Okay, and we're not even really going to add much of anything to this. We are going to take just a little bit of olive oil, drizzle it on top.
You've got all the elements right here. You've got a beautiful fresh veggie. You've got a little bit of salty flavor. You got a little protein on it.
A lot of salty flavor.
Yeah, with the prosciutto.
Do you ever eat it just raw? Because
It is actually really good. I usually try, you know what I do? I don't just sit and do it for a meal, but when I'm preparing it, I usually nibble on a little bit. And especially if I have a piece of like hard cheese or something nearby.
To go with it.
Yeah.
I almost wonder do you ever use toothpicks to help this stick, or
You know,
this one
I usually just
wing
wrap.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that idea.
They're
just
not,
wing it.
perfection isn't required on these.
Well, it's going to be pretty no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing about asparagus, we were kind of talking about it, asparagus does not take long at all to cook. And I don't know about you, but I like it to have a little bit of bite
texture.
left to it.
Yeah.
There's really nothing worse than mushy asparagus.
Well, once it starts collapsing, if you have it in the oven, it starts collapsing and it's kind of past its prime then. Okay, I'm going to each do one more.
Okay.
Or maybe,
One or two more.
oh, here, actually you have this laid out perfectly.
And then we're going to brush each spear with just a little olive oil, and I'll grab the brush to do that.
And I got just enough here to...
Perfect.
Did you have that counted out? All right, they're beautiful.
So all we're going to do with this is we are going to take just a little olive oil, and I'll hand you the brush here, and brush it on. And so I do have this olive oil dispenser. If you can see, it measures out when you squeeze 1, 2, or 3 teaspoons, which is so helpful. A lot of recipes have you measure olive oil and you don't have to dirty a spoon. So
this was really helpful when we used it on the crostinis the other night too. Instead of drowning the little baguettes.
That's what somebody mentioned, is it helps you not get too much.
Because I have a heavy hand when I start with the olive oil. And
so just brush a little of that, and that brush is a silicone brush, so you can actually clean it. That's why I love it.
I love it. A little spritz of Dawn and you're good to go again.
And then just a little bit of black pepper. The fresh ground kind of gives it a little bit more edge than the ready-made ground up.
You know, one other little tip that I've been doing, Neil has shared some of this fresh asparagus with me, and the other night I just was trying to do something really quick, so I turned up the oven to like 375, and Trader Joe's has this, it's a garlic and salt blend. I just crunched that, did the olive oil, put that garlic and salt blend
on the asparagus.
It was so good.
Just like a steamed with that seasoning?
Well, just sort of a seared in the oven.
Oh,
you know, just a fast hot bake, and it just a few minutes in there, and they're perfect.
Wow. Yeah, it's always good to have different ways to do asparagus. I'd always default to the steaming it with dill, but okay. So this is ready, and what's really cool is with our deluxe air fryer oven combination, you can actually do 2 different cooking methods on the top and bottom at the same time. So if we could squeeze you over this way so we can get a view of
slide out.
So on the top of the deluxe air fryer oven is just your toaster oven, and also you can broil. So we are going to use the broil setting. So this is going to go quick. So, and this is the one we might even have to watch it. I'm actually just going to say 2 minutes. And that goes so fast, you won't even believe it. So if you want to kind of even...
Want me to babysit this a little bit?
Yes, if you would. Because you can almost even watch it bubble up as it broils. It's almost like having live fire on something.
When we did the crostinis, it was no time at all, and you could see the olive oil with a little bubble.
And those were the little toast with a little bit of olive oil on top.
And our eggs are puffing up around, there's a rim puffing up around the edge already.
Okay, there's actually a light on the bottom left corner.
Yeah.
And that will light up the whole. So how is the egg looking?
Oh wow, beautiful.
And you just flip in this?
Yes.
Yep. Pull it. Do you feel like we should test it for doneness yet?
Probably not quite yet,
Okay.
but it is getting close.
And there's 3 minutes left on the timer, so do you think that might be pretty close, actually?
3 minutes might be a little too much.
Okay. So we'll
Yeah.
just keep an eye on that. And in the meantime, that's all going to be finished really quick. So in the meantime, we'll actually get out the ingredients for our sweet little fresh healthy dessert recipe.
By the looks of these, I bet we're going to be able to pull these at the same time.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get a little hot pad ready
Yeah.
for our frittata. And I'm thinking about plating the prosciutto spears, so we could probably just use a plate to set those on.
Mm-hmm. Or even leave them right on the little pan.
We'll see what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it does recommend that you broil them, flip them, and broil them. I almost feel like they're going to be fine. Just
I
on
think
the
they're
one
going to be
side.
fine. I think if you were using true bacon, where you have a little bit of
Right,
fatty
that would take
texture,
a lot
but the
longer.
prosciutto, if that's hot, that's all you need.
So let's test it.
Yeah.
So if you want to take this knife and maybe just stab one and let's see where we're at.
I usually
Just to
take
have a
one of
little-
the fatter ones, and
So we need more time.
I think we probably need, how long was that in there?
2 minutes.
I would say do another 2 or 3.
Okay, we'll even
Yeah.
say 3. I think
Yeah,
we're okay.
I think we
because
would be okay.
It's not like the toast.
Right. Because I think then we'll have a little bit of crisp on the prosciutto and just that delicate crispness left on the asparagus. And I think the frittata is just about there.
I'm gonna hand you this little knife, and what
Okay.
we'll do is we'll pull it and we'll test it a little.
Oh, is that where you test them in the middle?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I do that all the time. Okay.
So look at that beautiful frittata.
Oh, it smells so good too.
So
So
I feel like it
usually-
looks done.
Yeah. Oh, it's perfect.
So that's done.
Yeah.
Done.
So how many minutes was that?
Boy, I didn't even. So there were 12, and there was 2 left. So it only took 10 minutes. That's
And
amazing.
this is perfect.
So I hate to admit we're not working that hard for your brunch dinner.
I'm okay with that because the end product is really beautiful.
It was so quick. I can't even believe that. Okay, so let's do another 3 minutes on the asparagus.
That's the secret we can't tell everybody, that it
Right.
really wasn't that laborious. Okay, so we got 3 minutes more on the asparagus
Right,
now.
so the asparagus
Okay.
is boiling for 3 more minutes. We'll set this to the side just for a moment, and we will set out our fresh fruit ingredients for a fun little recipe here.
I absolutely love the idea of, this is a whole new creation with, radishes.
Oh, a whole new flavor
I've never
profile.
ever had anything where they're hot or heated or
Really?
baked. Yeah.
I have tried them roasted
Have
once
you?
before. My Aunt Catherine tried that, and it surprised us. It was really, really good. They almost like melt in your mouth.
And I've done big trays too of like roast vegetables where I do turnips and beets and different things and Brussels sprouts. It would be so beautiful to add radishes because you got the color.
And totally different texture and a little bit of sharpness.
Yeah, and parsnips or radishes. Every time you integrate a new flavor profile in there, it just makes it more interesting.
Okay, so for our fresh fruit, we're going to do a fresh fruit salad, but this is not your regular old boring fruit salad. We're going to make this really fun, and it even has like a little sweet dressing, and we're just peeking at our prosciutto wrapped asparagus. They're actually,
I think they're starting.
we can see them moving around a little, so that's when you know they're, actually I'll check that.
Yeah, I think.
Looks like some action going on.
Yeah, they actually look like the prosciutto is bubbling. I think we could pull those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the prosciutto, you can tell, just took on a little bit of crispiness. I love that little dual oven convection air fryer function. Oh, here.
I just want to show you this real quick. So you can see the prosciutto got a little crispy, so that's what's going to make it exciting. So I'll set this to the side just for a sec here. That is really hot. Okay, now we can take care of your sweet tooth. Okay, so for this fresh fruit salad, it's pretty simple. You can kind of pick and choose your fruits too, but we're doing strawberries, grapes, pineapple, kiwi if you have it. Pay attention to when you buy them, they can take several days to ripen still, and I didn't look out in that department, so we're skipping the kiwi.
This is a great combination
we are
right
just
here.
going to stick with the strawberry and grapes and pineapple. Okay, so we will start with the fruit. So we're just going to do strawberries. So I want to show you how quick this can be.
Okay.
So this is just a small batch, so you'd obviously want to double or even triple this for a crowd. But if it's just you and the favorite mom in your life, you can just do a smaller batch here.
This is our private party.
Exactly. Okay, so have you used our cup slicer yet?
I have.
Okay, so go ahead. See how quick.
I like this. I'm driving
It's
blind.
like lightning fast.
This is impressive.
That is impressive. Okay,
right.
so that took a whole 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you just dump them out. And you might have, just use a little scraper here.
Just
Because what
motivate
that is
them
little
through.
serrated bars in there that do all your cutting for you.
Here's one. These
Okay.
are beautiful strawberries.
So are you sweating? Was that a lot of work?
That was very stressful.
Okay, so same thing. Let's do the same thing with the pineapple.
Okay.
I want to try it this time.
Okay.
Oh, actually, we need to do this.
That direction,
Yeah.
probably.
And pineapple's the same thing. It can be hard to find it at the perfect exact ripeness, so we're doing the best we can. Sometimes you even have to let pineapple sit out for, what, 3, 4, 5 days?
Yeah, it really, if you get a fresh one.
So this guy is actually the cup slicer, but if you really have bigger amounts, you can actually do the quick slice. And that's where you can do like 4 strawberries at one time.
Yeah, we could do,
Or you can do several pineapple spears at one
we can
time.
probably do all 3 of them, you think?
Yeah, sure.
Let's give it a try. We're going to challenge it.
So this guy has like serrated in a V-shaped blades, which grabs your food and pushes through it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was.
Actually, that was
effective.
impressive, Fat. And that was all 3 pieces.
So if you do a lot of fruit salad type things where you need to get a lot done at once. So this, I didn't realize how nice this was till I did a fruit tray. You zip through your bell peppers, your cucumbers, your mushrooms, because things like that can be kind of tedious, and I actually don't like spending all that time in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So let's set that aside. We'll set the bowl right in the middle there.
Okay.
We're gonna do some grapes. So don't worry, the grapes need cut up, but don't worry, you know I have a shortcut for that.
I know there's a shortcut coming.
So just take your grapes and set them right in here. While you do that,
I have to confess, I have this, so
Oh, okay.
I have exercised this shortcut before.
So you know where this is going.
I know where this one is going. And I appreciate it every time I use it.
And you just have to have a long knife for this one.
I'll give you these. And I am going to
You're gonna do the honors?
do the honors.
So this is the close and cut, and if you have several little cherry tomatoes you need to slice in half, or grapes, or olives.
Another stressful job done.
Wow, that took that took you
That
what?
took 5 seconds.
5 seconds?
Yeah.
Whereas if you did each one of these individually, you'd still be doing it 10 minutes from now.
And it's just as nice when you're doing, like if you're doing a tomato and cucumber salad. Put
Those
your
little-
little tomatoes on here, run the cucumbers through the quick slice.
Oh yeah, your cucumbers
And-
in here.
yeah,
Or the simple slicer mandolin. You can get your cucumbers and
That's
onions
what
done.
I do the onions in. Yeah. You can have a beautiful vegetable salad for 15 people in 5 to 10 minutes of chopping.
And that's what I think so many of us don't cook a lot of times because of the
Yeah.
time, but if you can get it done that quick.
Yeah, exactly.
I even like to nerd out and say it's fun if you have the right tool.
I know. There's a gratification in zipping through that. It's a little
It
chuckle.
is fun.
Yeah.
You could probably even convince your kids to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So then we are going to just a little dressing here. I can actually get our new little board out.
I'm gonna get this. We want both limes, right?
Let's see. So
I think we'll
for
wait.
lime juice, 2 teaspoons, and I found that usually a half a lime is a tablespoon almost. So we
most
might
of
not
them,
even
yeah.
need. And you probably like it plenty lime, like
I
plenty.
do love the citrus.
So we will go ahead and use both these, even though that'll probably be more than
Yeah.
2 teaspoons. But for our dressing, and we're actually going to stir that up separately just so it stirs together really well. But it's just the 2 teaspoons of your lime juice.
Well, we're gonna live on the edge. We're not gonna measure
Uh-oh.
because we know it's just about there.
See, you're good at that, like the cooking. I have to have the list of baking because I'm a baker by heart, and I think you're the cooker by heart.
I do. It's
Okay.
more challenging, but that is about. That's about
You
a
feel
short
like-
of a tablespoon, probably.
I feel like that's pretty close to a
Yeah.
tablespoon.
Yeah.
So do you want to? Because it only calls for 2 teaspoons. Do you?
Let's give it part of another one. We probably don't. It'd probably be a little intense if we go both. There,
Okay.
and then we can use that for something else.
And that's a citrus press. I've seen a lot
Yeah.
lately how good hot lemon water is for you. So if you're doing a lot with citrus juice, the citrus press is really good to have. So our lime, and then the other.
And you know what else? It's like a lot of times, especially if you're doing something for the girls or in the summer, where you do a big jug of water. I don't waste the rinds. A lot of times I'll buy the organic limes or lemons. I squeeze them if I need the juice, and I throw the limes in the water.
Oh, to make like spa water?
Yeah.
We'll have to do a little recipe feature
Yeah.
on spa water. And so this guy's actually a silicone prep bowl. You can see the measure marks in here. So this is a cup. It comes in a set of 3, 1, 2, and 3 cup. And you can microwave these too. So if you need to like melt butter or melt chocolate and then pour it, they're perfect for that.
And dishwasher safe on the top.
Pretty much all of
on
our
the top
tools are
rack.
dishwasher
Yeah.
safe. So for our dressing, just to finish it up here, so lime juice and lime zest. So I've been kind of playing around with this, and if we're really thinking ahead, we should have zested it first, but luckily we have a couple limes here. So we're going to take, this guy is called the cup zester, and so we're just going to take, and you can do this any direction on here, and we're gonna zest a whole lime because I feel like it does nothing but add good
I agree.
citrus. So I've been playing around with the citrus, like that lemon bar recipe I did. I added, it didn't call for the lemon zest, but I added it, and I think it really
those
added
were really, really good.
something. So
I have to confess, I took one home for Kevin and I ate it.
That is funny. Well, as long as you didn't
It
tell him.
almost got there. And the intention was really good.
What he doesn't know. But for sweet and savory things, like asparagus is good with the lemon zest too.
Yeah.
So, oh, and I smell this. So our lime zest, and this is what's cool about this is down here in your container, you have most of it, but then there's like a little windshield wiper. You just spin this.
We can even put that straight in the bowl with the little windshield wiper. That way we'll hit the.
There's a little windshield wiper that gets the rest of it for you.
That is a really neat little device because you can zest it like if you're just winging it. But when you really want to measure something, especially for a baked
Some
item,
things really do matter.
it's important because sometimes too much zest can take it over the edge.
It's powerful, so it depends what you're using it for.
Yeah.
So what else in our dressing? We are doing lime zest, lime juice, honey, 2 teaspoons of honey, and I will let you eyeball that.
Okay, so I'm gonna eyeball, and it goes in the dressing, right?
Yeah, we'll stir it up.
So I would say, these are one of the recipes you can't go wrong.
You really can't
You
it's fruit and honey. I mean,
and
that was.
I would say that's a teaspoon.
And then we'll just grab a little whisker, and then if you want to do the little dash of salt, I know it calls just for 1/8 teaspoon.
Okay, so just truly a dash. Okay.
So how do you describe, I know it sounds really weird adding salt to a sweet recipe, but how do you describe what it does?
Sometimes I think salt enhances the sweetness. Because if you there's a lot of people that will take a green apple and put salt on it, or cantaloupe, or watermelon.
I've heard the cantaloupe and watermelon.
But I've seen people do it on a lot of different things, and even in salsa. Like if you have a fresh salsa and you squeeze fresh lime on it, there's something about it that balances. But I think it also pulls, like it'll pull the sweetness out of a tomato. It'll pull the sweetness out of a melon.
So it kind of, you could almost describe it like it activates
It almost
some flavors.
does, yeah.
And that makes sense too.
Yeah.
And so we'll just pour this on. I'll grab you a little spatula to stir.
Do we do our almonds now?
I think we're going to garnish with those.
Garnish
so we'll
with
hold
those,
off.
okay.
I'll hand you this, and we'll just pour on our dressing. And it's not a lot of dressing, you just want to coat those lightly.
You've got all the beautiful fresh fruit, you just need, it just enhances it a little. Almost like the salt we were talking about.
Exactly, that lime juice kind of gives it, so it's not like too sweet.
And you know what it does? That dressing that you just created sets apart your average fruit bowl.
From your boring,
it just totally sets apart your fruit bowl. And I feel like kids as well as adults love this.
Oh, for sure, yeah. So this is pretty much done, and dressing ingredients. So just to take this a little over the top, because you're so special for Mother's Day, we'll add a couple garnishes, and I know this is your specialty too. So take a couple of the little mint leaves and just drop them in there. And then we're gonna do some of the thin sliced almond slivers.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull out these pretty the little baby ones out of the middle of these.
So if you can manage to get mint growing, it will just go crazy, and it's actually almost invasive. So once you have mint growing, it'll grow forever. So.
But it's so fun in so many things.
Oh, it is, yeah. So if you need some mint, let me know.
Yeah, and also too, one thing I find, and you could even do it with this, or with a glass of tea or lemonade or a cocktail. You can take it and run it around the rim or run it around the inside, like the old trick with garlic. Like when you're doing a Caesar salad, sometimes they would rub it in the bowl. And you could do the same thing with this.
Really get fancy.
Yeah. But it just
You're talking about like the craft cocktails.
Yeah.
I haven't even gotten into those yet.
But this is, we can get a couple more leaves in here.
And then you can take like one, well, I know you'll know what to do.
Yeah. And then we'll do we have to.
Like a full little bunch
Yeah. Let's do a full bunch in the center.
there. Aw, it's so cute.
There. And then can we do the almonds now?
I actually did already.
Oh, they're in there. Perfect.
So that'll give you a little crunch.
Yeah.
So you can see how pretty that is with the garnish.
Ooh.
You know what? We're done. I think it's about time to taste test. So let's plate up our prosciutto.
Yeah.
Should we just use this plate?
We can.
Set
All
our
right.
utensils
And I
to the
have
side.
just enough latte left to.
Oh, that'd be perfect for the Mother's Day brunch theme. And I won't make you do this for yourself on Mother's Day.
Okay, deal. This is like our little private pre-Mother's
early
Day.
Mother's Day. So
Okay.
let's see if this is still hot.
Okay.
Because
And shall I go ahead and cut the frittata?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay.
You can even
You know
do
what
that
I'll
here
do?
so they
I'll
can-
bring it up here so we can see. This might be nice just to do it in almost like little pie wedges.
That's what
Kinda
I was
like a
thinking, the little
quiche.
pie wedges.
Yeah.
And I will transfer these to the plate.
I wasn't even hungry until I started seeing this and smelling all the wonderful scents coming off of it.
Pretty, what did they say, stimulating to the
Yeah.
senses.
All right. So we've got that.
I love how this is just a private amount for you and I.
Yeah. And here we go. So we are going to, I will do the honors. So beautiful. It's just a delightful
You can
serving.
show it right up there. If you
Yeah, just a very nice serving. And I want to get a piece with the little radishes on it.
They
This is
should
so
be-
pretty with the radishes.
They should be stirred throughout in there.
They are pretty much. They kind of
then
they're coming
I'll
out.
serve a little of the fruit
Okay.
salad.
And then we'll do a couple little prosciutto asparagus on each. Ooh, this is
Ooh, I'm excited.
This is brunch fit for a queen.
Okay.
All right.
So set that aside. Look at that. Isn't that adorable?
That is beautiful.
But what my favorite part was how fast we did that. What did we spend
know.
like? We haven't even been here.
It's not even a half an hour.
Yeah. So all that
Yeah.
was done, and your mom will think you did something really special, and it only took
It
you 30
really
minutes.
is.
And it is special.
And it's like, for me, it's trying to eat paleo and low carb, there's nothing here that I have to stay away from.
There's no gluten in this at
Yeah.
all. It's all the paleo
Yeah.
friendly. Okay, so what should we try first?
Okay, I think I'm going for the frittata
That's
first.
what I was thinking too.
I want the frittata with a nice little
Of course,
asparagus
I did too
tip.
big of a bite. Mmm.
Mm.
I love it with the breakfast sausage.
Mm-hmm.
Did you try a radish?
Mm-hmm. They mellow.
That's the secret with cooking them that I didn't realize, and you probably wouldn't think of with cooking radishes.
It does. It mellows it. That's interesting.
That's cool. Now we have a new vegetable to cook
I
with.
know.
that
I
we
want to
didn't
play
realize.
with that this summer.
I found this recipe online. It was suggested for the skillet that I'm using. So I thought, well, if somebody tested in there, I'll give it a
Yeah.
shot. So I like to try recipes that other people
And
recommend.
and you know something else? This half batch that we just did, we did a half batch on that frittata.
Mm-hmm.
And the beauty of this is, it's like when you just have a couple, in your
Like 2 or 3
household, it's like
people.
2 or 3 people. You could have, you could have a meal and still have another little snack.
Yeah.
Like that would pack up nice and take to work.
Frittatas are perfect. There's something that you can serve warm or cool or room temperature, and it's good any way, really.
Yeah.
So I have to try this fruit salad with a little bit.
I want a mint leaf with mine.
It's the lime dressing that does everything. It just takes it from
That's what I was saying. It sets it apart.
It's just like this burst of bright flavor. And then the mint and the lime together. I bet you could do a lot with mint and lime.
And then I'm going to use my fingers.
So fun fact, Emily posted it is proper manners to eat asparagus with your fingers.
I do.
Because I don't know if there is a graceful way to do it otherwise.
No. I was teaching our little Eleanor to eat asparagus the other day, and I told her, I said, okay, the very favorite part is the tip. So she sat there and nibbled the tip, and then the whole thing was gone.
You should tell her the end is the favorite part. Okay. I think that's a perfect ending. I like just a little bit crispy. And the combination.
Oh my gosh, the prosciutto too is done perfectly.
The combination of the sweet salty meat and the fresh green asparagus, it's so good.
Oh wow.
I think this turned out perfectly. If my boys were cooking for me, I would be happy with it.
I'm happy right now.
So, happy Mother's Day.
And to you also.
Cheers.
Asparagus. Here, we have to do a full asparagus cheers. Asparagus cheers. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. Oh my gosh. Each one of these things are better than the next. I love it.